Albuquerque is in the thick of a brutal West Coast schedule tonight as they head to Vegas trying to come up with offensive answers. The Devils just hope to keep pace with the Hornets atop the standings. St. Louis and Chicago tussle in the Midwest tonight. Two teams on the opposite ends of close games this season. Will the Rivermen find the magic late again, or will Chicago find a way to scoop up a rare W? And the Miami Pirates, well, they just want to get back to winning ways. 3 losses this season by a combined 13 points. How will El Paso, with their backs against the playoff wall, handle the pressure? We'll watch it all tonight in the virtual zone. Week 12 starts right here on VFN. Sit back and enjoy the glory of 3 times the football as 90 minutes of UFL action starts right now. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine on an extended delay. As you can see, our technological problems creeping their way into our game night pregame coverage, but we've got Elliot Pope Jr. going down for a sack on the opening play of the game. That is Dexter Murdoch making the play in the backfield for Miami, and that is not the start that El Paso wanted. What's up, Ernest? Think outside the box. Ron Haynes and many others in the house. We're just getting started here tonight. A little bit of a delay. You might hear me out of breath just a touch. It is one tough production around here, but we're happy to bring it to you each and every game night around the UFL. Jordan Herrera is in the open field for the Desperados. A first down, wiping away the second down and 19. Chicago just came up with a sack on Karen Koizumi, unblocked off that right side. We've seen El Paso with the Jekyll and Hyde start. The Desperados 3-7. They are coming off of a very impressive victory over the Austin Lone Stars, 24-9, the last trip out. El Paso's victories are against Minnesota, Houston, and Austin, so a win at Miami would be something totally different on the resume. As Koizumi's pass is caught. How about Jack Nitro in the open field for Vegas? First down for the Vegas Devils across the 50 to the Albuquerque 45-yard line. Albuquerque is 4-6. They are coming off of quite possibly the worst performance of any offense in the UFL this season. A UFL record 129 total yards of offense. They got to get the offense moving today if they want to keep up with Vegas, but first they got to get Vegas off the field. The Vegas Devils have been playing lights out. An unbelievable, impressive 8-2 start. They have won 6 consecutive games. Their last loss to the top of the ticket, Salt Lake, at 9-1. I think that receiver went out of bounds. And he did for Vegas. Junior McCray on the opening drive for St. Louis has the ball to the Chicago 32-yard line. Let's go to Miami for a third down and 9 for the Desperados on their opening drive. 9:40 to go in the first quarter there. Pope Jr. trying to keep his offense on the field. And Jr. finds Caden Varley for the first down. 3 for 3 for 61 yards for Pope on the opening drive. Vegas gets it down to the Albuquerque 30, and Homer J with a catch near the red zone for St. Louis. So all 3 teams with the football to start have started by driving deep into opponent territory. Koizumi is 4 for 4 so far tonight. Jay's off to a good start. Miami and El Paso wearing their standard get-ups. Chicago and Vegas in their alternate looks. Pope Jr. dumps it off inside the 20, and that is our first red zone appearance. There's a fumble. It is picked up by Vegas at the 21-yard line. A big offensive lineman able to recover that one. That's unclaimed left guard Eduardo Wallstead making the play. And that ball was actually ripped out. Beautiful play there by the linebacker of Albuquerque. The ball was kicked forward, and Vegas lucky enough to get their paws back on it just outside the red zone at the 21-yard line. Third down and 6 for Pope Jr. That is caught at the 8. First and goal for El Paso. First and goal for Vegas as Jack Nitro gets the Devils down to the 6-yard line. First and goal for St. Louis at the 5-yard line. A very early triple box of red zone action here on game night tonight. We'll go back and forth. It looks like St. Louis might get the snap off first. First down and goal. Play action, Koizumi fires near side. Nothing doing there and nothing doing for Flowers. Second down and goal for both Vegas and St. Louis. Now El Paso first and goal. Slaughter down to the 1-yard line. Second and goals all around. Let's go to Vegas. Handoff, Jack Nitro can't get it at the 4-yard line. St. Louis down to the 8-yard line. Karen 6 for 6 for 57 yards. Second and goal at the 1 for El Paso, and that is a touchdown for the Desperados. McCreary into the end zone, and El Paso takes an early 7-0 lead. Third down and goal, Vegas. Ethan Flowers, 4-yard touchdown. Karen Koizumi fools the defense and scores from 8 yards out. All 3 teams with opening drive touchdowns. St. Louis, Vegas, El Paso from 1, 4, and 8 yards out to start the proceedings tonight. And you see on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, that DB is in man coverage. So he's staying on his man until Koizumi crosses the line of scrimmage. But that move by Karen to the outside gave her just enough time to squeeze through down the sideline and score the rushing touchdown. The extra point for Vegas is good, 7-0, 9-play, 75-yard opening drive for the Devils. And Albuquerque distraught. They had a forced fumble. St. Louis goes 11-play, 76 yards, 5 minutes, 11 seconds. And El Paso almost took 6 minutes off the clock on the opening drive. Wow, a ton of fireworks, a ton of touchdowns. That's the way to start week 12. One, 4, 7, and 8 off of your Yugo cards early. The low numbers dominating. Deep shot for Buck Wild is incomplete. Ron Haynes mentioning third downs have not been good to Miami defensively. Let's check those numbers. Miami's defense actually 12th best, 13th best in third down defense, 41.4%. Not elite by any means, but an area where they could potentially improve down the line, no doubt. Third down and 10 coming up as Rob Crone starts 0 for 2. Second down and 1 for Chicago on their opening possession. Mike Roberts wide open down the middle to the St. Louis 40-yard line on his first pass of the day. Banks Barton with the 26-yard catch, and Chicago is in St. Louis territory. Albuquerque going backwards again. Jackson Hobbs, the back. Tiberius Bovine Jr. with the completion for Miami, so they avoid a quick 3 and out, trailing 7-0 to the Desperados early. And Albuquerque coming off that 129-yard day of offense against Los Angeles, -5 yards on this opening drive. We mentioned in the early going that Albuquerque has been in a brutal schedule They have taken on Salt Lake and Los Angeles each of the last 2 weeks. Now they've got Vegas on deck as Dennis Tolbert's pass is intercepted. That's taken away by unclaimed cornerback 1, Marcus Walters of Vegas. And the Devils force a 3-and-out pick on their opening drive after the opening drive touchdown for their offense. Rob Crone on 2nd and 8 floats one over to Terrell Cooper. That picks up 4. 5 minutes to go in the first there at the El Paso 45-yard line. Let's go to Chicago for a big 3rd down and 8 at the St. Louis 38, just outside of scoring position. Mike Roberts wearing number 8, fires, caught. Chicago is in the red zone. So back-to-back red zone trips between St. Louis and Chicago to start the game. Jack Nitro playing a game of Twister out there with an Albuquerque defender. Picks up 9 yards. Flanagan eventually on the tackle. Rob Crone again delivers on 3rd down. So Miami struggled on 3rd down in their loss to Vegas as that pass from Frank Stearns is over to the 4-yard line. Vegas is back into the red zone. Miami is approaching the red zone. Hand off to Boletsky, and Boletsky gets to the 33-yard line. Miami worked on that 3rd down offense this week. You know, it's crazy. Miami running a lot of wing on 3rd down, especially 3rd and short, which is a 3 tight end look, but Miami doesn't even have 3 tight ends on the roster, so that definitely got cleaned up today in Miami as Terrell Cooper catches one up to the 26-yard line. So Rob Crone's 4 for 6. He's completed his last 4 throws. Frank Stearns in the red zone is going to take a sack at the 11-yard line. Let's go to Chicago. Roberts complete down to the 6-yard line. That's Lamelico Smith with the catch. And there goes Boletsky into the red zone for Miami. And for the 2nd time today, we have 3 teams in the red zone. We haven't even hit the 2nd quarter. And this might be the most exciting first quarter of action that we have had on game night this entire season. Miami has a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. 1st and goal for Chicago at the 6. 2nd and goal for Vegas at the 11. Hand off to Smith for Chicago, not much there. Ethan Flowers is open for a touchdown. An 11-yard score for Flowers, and that is his 2nd touchdown of the day. Just like that, Vegas is up 14-0. They are making it look easy against Albuquerque. The handoff for Miami goes to Bourne. Boletsky's back up to pick up the 1st down in the heavy package. 1st down and goal at the 2-yard line for the Pirates. We're at 3rd and goal in Chicago at the 3-yard line. Handoff to Boletsky, 2-yard score. Roberts' pass is incomplete. Miami's on the board. Touchdown Pirates. Both the Desperados and Pirates score on their opening possessions. Vegas has scored on their first 2 possessions, and Chicago will be our first team today that will have to settle for a field goal. This is from 20 yards out for the Dragons, and that kick is up and good. So a lot of numbers off the board very quickly here, and I'll quickly get out of the way. 12-play, 64-yard drive for Miami takes over 5 minutes off the clock, and we're all out of the red zone again. 4:37, 1:11, and 1:22 to go in the respective first quarters. Tolbert's first throw of the day, an interception for Albuquerque, and they have dug themselves a quick hole with -7 yards of offense. Dennis Tolbert this time finds Robert Martin Jones down the sideline. Martin Jones outracing everybody. Touchdown Albuquerque. A 78-yard score, and the Atomics are back in it. Martin Jones beats the corner who kind of lazily swatted at the football. And Robert Martin Jones running with the Devils indeed, leaving him in his dust. Good adjustment of the football by Robert Martin Jones. And Albuquerque gets a much needed shot in the arm offensively. Atomics make it 14-6. And a 51 plus off your scorecard tonight.
The kicker on for the point after.
4:27 to go in the first quarter, and we've already had 3 touchdowns in Sin City, 14-7. Bobby Green going backwards for St. Louis will make it 3rd down and 14 for the Rivermen as they approach the end of the first quarter. Let's go 3rd down and 5 for El Paso. Pope Jr. going to take off and run. Did he slide before the first? Oh, he's 1 yard shy. That is not what El Paso was looking for there. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter in sunny Florida. Vegas and Chicago playing in the comforts of the Dome. 4th down and 14 for St. Louis. They were looking for Homer J. Deep, but they will have to punt it away. El Paso punting to start the second quarter. Oh, that was almost picked by Chicago. And Miami gets their first stop of the day. They'll get the football back, trying to make it 2 for 2 offensively. Vegas a 7.5-point favorite. Albuquerque's offense has really struggled against the top competition in the league, and Vegas has been lighting things up. Chicago a 3.5-point dog against St. Louis. You might say, well, Cameron, Chicago is 2-8 as Boletsky's got a first down. Why are they only 3.5-point underdogs? Well, they've been in just about every game that they have played this season. They've lost their last 2 games by 8 and 3 points. They also have losses earlier this season by 3, 3, and 7. So you count it all up, 5 losses this season by 1 possession for Chicago. St. Louis, on the other hand, is coming off of a victory against the Portland Huskies, in which they won by a point. St. Louis in 1-score games this season has won by 1, 7-2. Down the stretch here. So the Rivermen actually 3-0 in 1-score games this season. Abrayo Mebane with the catch for Chicago gives them a first down. Miami is a 6.5-point favorite over El Paso. The Desperados coming off a win against Austin, and overall El Paso has won 3 of their last 5 games after starting the season 0-5. Rob Crone fires down the field. That pass has caught a lot of running room down the sideline inside the 10. That is Tiberius Bovine Jr. getting loose again for Miami. 136 total yards for the offense, and 39 of those came after that catch. Miami back in the red zone. Frank Stearns is 8 of 9 for Vegas. And the Devils again are in scoring position. Mike Roberts, the quarterback for Chicago, again leading the Dragons down the field, 6 of 7 for 104 yards, as Boletsky lost a yard in the backfield. Second sack of the day for Brick Novocaine, having himself a day against Stearns and this Vegas Devils offense in the backfield. Vegas leads the league in sacks, but so far it is Albuquerque with the advantage in the sack department.
On the ready.
Chicago just outside the red zone. Second down and goal for Miami after the loss. And they'll go back to Beletsky again. He'll pick up a couple, but it's going to be in the hands of Rob Crone here on this third down and goal. Jack Nitro on the carry for Vegas. Gets a few. That'll set up third down and 15 at the 30. Third and goal for Miami. Crone looking right at the goal line. It's dropped and picked. There goes El Paso all the way. And I don't think Crone is going to catch him. A pick six for El Paso. Javon Cromartie says, look what I found. And Vegas is on the 2. Look at this. This pass is knocked away. I believe looking for the pass catching back Bourne. And it's taken all the way back to the house. And the Desperados retake the lead. Chicago's got a 15-yard touchdown off the arm of Mike Roberts. Mebane with the catch. And Crone tried to fit that in. Cromartie with a monster play. The unclaimed corner. And the action here on game night has not stopped. Desperados up 14-7 after the red zone takeaway. A 15-yard touchdown and a 10 on the board for Chicago. Has us up to 12 called numbers. Here's Vegas around the end on second and goal. Got to the 4. That is the end of the first quarter from the beautiful Vegas Stadium. That is where the UFL Championship game will be held in October. 10 runs and 10 passes for the Devils as we start the second quarter of play. Frank Stern's pass is incomplete. Fourth and goal, so Albuquerque gets a half stop. And Miami's got to shake it off. Rob Crone, just his 6th interception this season, but the interception bug has been hitting him a little harder as of late. As teams key in on what Crone and this offense like to do. Vegas' field goal is up and good. That was from 21 yards away. And that makes your score 17-7. Vegas on top. Bullet Beletsky on the carry for Miami will pick up a first down. 9 carries, 48 yards in the first half for Beletsky. Junior McCray with his 5th touch. It'll be third down and 1 for St. Louis. For Cromartie, that was his 2nd interception this season, the 9th total for El Paso. And a false start called on Miami. Third down and 1. St. Louis elects to throw. They do not get it. Joey Zumi on the misfire, and St. Louis will have to punt the football down by 3. Albuquerque's offense back to work. Last time we saw them on the field, that dynamic duo scored a 78-yard touchdown. And that is 78 of the 71 total yards of offense for Albuquerque. Dennis Tolbert, incomplete over the middle. That's a wackadoo stat line. 1 of 3 for 78 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Rob Crone's pass caught by Terrell Cooper will set up a third down and 10. And Chicago's punt, or St. Louis's punt rather, pins Chicago inside the 5-yard line. Third and 10, Miami, another third down. And this time, Rob Crone just takes the check down and doesn't force anything, and El Paso's defense gets the stop. No, Boletsky was just out of bounds. And that's why Bourne is typically in for pass catching downs, although he was the responsible party for that pick six from El Paso. Sean Tarkington Jr. with the catch for Albuquerque. That's an Atomics first down. His first catch of the day for 16 yards, and Albuquerque's moving the football. Still haven't seen much of that run game, but at least Albuquerque is not sludging around in the mud offensively. As Chicago will get the first down, Corey Preston gets just enough from the beautiful dome in Illinois. Elliott Pope Jr. takes off and runs, lost the ball, immediately picked up by the Desperados. That is Kalen Varley with the fumble recovery. Watch lower right-hand corner. Pope Jr. gets sandwiched, and I think before the ball even hit the ground, we'll get a better look on it here. Yeah, Varley scooped it up before it even hit the ground.
Right here, right here.
Great awareness from Kalen Varley. Keeps the drive alive for El Paso. And so far the turnover's going the Desperados' way. Tobert's pass is picked at the 3-yard line. That's his second interception already today, as Tolbert was taking a shot deep. Vegas will be deep in their own territory. Effectively, it's an arm punt. But another big momentum swing in favor of the Devils. Look at that toe tap. El Paso's got a first down. Elliott Pope Jr., 7 of 7 for 95 yards. Pope Jr. this season completes 67% of his passes. He is on fire in the first half against Miami. Contested throw for Roberts is incomplete. There goes P.J. Slaughter up to the 49-yard line. Play fake for Stearns, standing in his end zone. Stearns just gets rid of it, and it's a launcher down the field. He couldn't get all that he wanted to on it. Unable to step up as the pressure was barreling down on him. Incomplete. On 2nd and 3, Slaughter jammed in the backfield, 3rd and 5. Second TFL for Dexter Murdoch. Again, Vegas going play action, going the New York Lightning route, although they take a underneath route all alone. Dylan White. That is inexcusable out of the Atomics defense, and Vegas already has 202 yards of offense. What's up, Damon? Elliott Pope now 8 of 8. Varley, who recovered that earlier fumble, with his 5th catch for 72 yards. Somebody cover that guy.
Ready, ready. 18 Gator.
Let's go, D.
Let's go.
That was DeLance Collins chasing. And Stearns is sacked again. Albuquerque's got 3 sacks today. Vegas with none, as their pass rush has slowed down as the season has gone along. That is the lone bright spot for the Albuquerque Atomics, who are down 10. Second down and 4. Let's go to Miami, where El Paso is driving up 7. Pope Jr. going to step up and take off. This time doesn't fumble and has a first down. Junior McCray hits the hole, but it's been a quiet first half for Junior. 3rd down and 12 for St. Louis. They trail by 3, already at the 2-minute warning in Miami. Fast-moving game there, not a lot of possessions. Stearns' pass, almost a pick 6 for Albuquerque. That was dangerous. St. Louis doesn't get anywhere near the first down marker. Izumi dumps it underneath to Bobby Green, but the Rivermen are going to have to punt again. And El Paso is into the red zone. Good stop by the Atomics defense. That ball hauled in by Javaris Bronson of El Paso, the unclaimed tight end. A Shankopotamus punt from St. Louis will put Chicago at their own 25-yard line. Tolbert 3 for 6, 107 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Wild. Pope Jr., the sideline, yanked down. Wow, what a vicious tackle from Rip Cuby. Chased him down to the 8. There goes Corey Preston. 10 carries, 43 yards for Chicago, up to their own 41-yard line. You can see some of the scores from the end of Week 11. If you missed our UFL primetime doubleheader, it was stuff of legends, man. Minnesota and New York put on a show as Pope Jr. has an 8-yard touchdown. Another score for El Paso. That is Eric Grammer, the tight end for the Desperados. They score from 8 yards out, which was already off the board. The Dragons now have a first down in the 2-minute offense. Albuquerque is into Vegas territory. The ball hauled in by Trey McDowell. Just confirming, yeah, that was an 8-yard touchdown for El Paso. 21-7. The Desperados 3-7, needing a lot of work to do to get into the playoff picture. They are taking it to Miami in the first half at the Pirate ship. Offside for Vegas will make first down a little bit easier on the Atomics. It's been all on the arm of Dennis Tolbert in the first half. They trail 17-7. And a loss on the play will wipe away that advantage. Bullet Biletsky, 10 carries, 46 yards and a touchdown. A good start for him today. We'll see what Miami can do in the 2-minute offense. 1:08 to go. Chicago is near the St. Louis red zone. Mike Roberts all day to throw. Oh, what a hit! Incomplete, jarred the ball loose, and now a false start on Albuquerque. So they had a 1st and 5, and now they have a 2nd and 14 backed up out of field goal range. Crone's pass caught by Cooper. Juke move in the middle of the field. And Jackson Hobbs gets some of the yardage back for Albuquerque. Will make it 3rd down and 7. St. Louis calls timeout in hopes of getting the football back. Before the end of the first half, they'll have 57 seconds to work with. Crone, look at the speed. Down the sideline, that is Drennan with the catch. The speedster out of the slot, his first grab. How about McNeil? Gets 8 yards, needing 7 for Albuquerque. 33-yard field goal for Chicago is up and good. And the 13 is off the board. St. Louis able to hold to a field goal, 13-7. Dragons by 6. Albuquerque's approaching the red zone. Miami is approaching the red zone. They have 2 timeouts, 32 seconds left. 4:40 to go in Vegas. Tolbert takes the check down, 7 of 10 for 135 yards.
Come on, set.
53 seconds left in Chicago, 33 seconds left in Miami. Tolbert has Albuquerque in the red zone. Miami has gotten into the red zone. That pass was hauled in down the field by Bovine. 3 catches now for his number, 83 yards in the first half as Miami tries to get back in it. If they complete a ball in the field of play, they should have time for one more play before they have to take the timeout. So Miami's in pretty good shape. Crone throws it inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line. And now Miami will have to hustle to the line, try to get one more play off and get a touchdown instead of a field goal. Boletsky with that last catch. Down to 7, down to 6, and they did get it off. Play action, oh, Boletsky missed a block, and Crone is sacked. With 2 seconds left, El Paso forces Miami into a field goal. And what a missed block from Bullet Boletsky as Crone was trying to get Miami into the end zone. 3rd down and 10 for Albuquerque. Dennis Tolbert to the sideline, but well short of the first down. Looks like Albuquerque will have to settle for a field goal. This is a 32-yarder right at the end of the half for Miami. Good. For Albuquerque, this is a 25-yard field goal. And it is up and good. That is 18 called numbers here on game night. Both teams get field goals in the red zone. Now St. Louis has 34 seconds and just 1 timeout to try to make something out of the end of this first half. Karen Koizumi all day to throw. Now going to take off and run. And gets thrown down at the 47-yard line. 10-second runoff. St. Louis will probably have to get into field goal range on this next play. And Albuquerque, after quickly going down 14-0, has cut the deficit to 7. Karen's going to take off and run. She's in a world of hurt. Chicago with a sack. And now St. Louis, trailing by 6, will likely send a prayer to the end zone. The Dragons playing yet another opponent tough this season. As we start the third quarter in Miami, a monster upset brewing. El Paso leads 21-10, but the Pirates get the ball to start the second half. Let's see what Koizumi's got in the arm on 3rd and 12. Has protection, takes a check down, and that is the end of the first half. Jack Nitro, 9 carries, 49 yards for Vegas in the first half, and that is our last game in the second quarter of play. How about Chicago? 209 yards of offense in the first half. Second and short coming up for Miami.
Hey, we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Hey, come on, let's go.
Stearns on 2nd and 1. Ethan Flowers, who's been quiet since the touchdowns. First down for Vegas. Boletsky, a lot of space up the middle, 65 yards on 12 carries. Guys, we have, while we have a minute, we have ordered our first finalized samples from our apparel provider. Got the designs all ready to go, got the products, got the order in. We'll take a look at those samples, and once we get those samples back, it is full speed ahead on phase 1 of our apparel rollout. We will roll out apparel in 3 phases from July until the end of the year as we head into the 2026 season. We're very excited about it. We know you've been waiting a long time And I'm excited to, me and CJ both, excited to reveal all of that to you. It is coming right up, folks. Takeda with a Hugo at bingo card 17. Yeah, middle row. You got it. That's our first of the night. Stearns, deep ball down the sideline. Vegas back in the red zone.
Here we go.
With 43 seconds left in all 3 timeouts, just when Albuquerque starts to get close, the Vegas Devils strike back. Another pretty ball from Stearns. 3rd down and 5 for Chicago. St. Louis's defense gets off the field.
Ready to break.
53, check 53.
19 passes, 11 runs for Vegas. And Stearns gets to the 5-yard line. Timeout Vegas. They have 2 left. The whole playbook open for the Devils. Chicago has to punt it away. St. Louis trailing by 6. The Rivermen not playing their best football as of late. They have not won a game by more than 1 score since April 21st when they beat New Orleans by 9. That's a touchdown for Vegas from 5 yards out. And that is hauled in by Braylon Battle. Another low number hits. Karen Koizumi picking up a block and a first down, 19 yards. Look at Pope Jr., 11 for 11 in the first half. 137 yards, a touchdown, and no interceptions. It doesn't get any better than that if you're a fan of the Desperados, and just as I say that, he throws his first incomplete pass. Kick is good for Vegas. They take a 24-10 lead over Albuquerque, and it's right back up to 2 scores with 35 seconds to go in the half. St. Louis has another first down. 7th carry for Junior McCray, only for 26 yards. That was one of his best of the day as he cuts it outside left. Pope Jr. taking off and running past the 20 and lowers his shoulder to pick up a first down. Elliott Pope has been clutch today. The team closest to scoring position is St. Louis. We go there for audio. Handoff, McCray has the juice. Get 5 and outrun most of the defense. Timeout for Albuquerque. It's 3rd down. The Atomics trailing 24-10 with 31 seconds to go. Trying to get something before the half. Still in the first half there. Slaughter is ushered out of bounds. That is an excellent play. Albuquerque forced to burn their second time out. It's 3rd down and 4. I don't know exactly what their 3rd down conversion is, but considering that Elliott Pope is 11 for 12 or 12 of 13 today passing, it's probably pretty high. 6:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. Desperados up 11. That is the shocker of the day so far. Closely behind that is Chicago up 6, but St. Louis is driving. They are now in the red zone. McCray up to 42 yards on 10 carries. McDowell's got a first down and out of bounds for the Atomics at the Vegas 49-yard line. This is a beautiful throw. That is exactly what Albuquerque needed as they try to get more points before the end of the half. The last 2 minutes of the half in Vegas taking an eternity. Bobby Green rolled over to the 5-yard line, and Koizumi is 13 of 16 to start the contest. I think McDowell's got this catch. Finally, Miami gets a stop on third down, so the Pirates will take back over. Pretty good punt return up to the 49-yard line. Koizumi, touchdown, 5 yards out, and St. Louis has tied the game. Karen on a roll, finds Homer J in the back of the end zone. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Rivermen. Crone now 17 of 22 for 177 yards. El Paso's opportunities tick down to 5 seconds left. Extra point is good for St. Louis, 8 plays, 68-yard drive. 4:03 taken off the clock. Boletsky on a carry, not much there, so a big third down coming up for Miami. Third down and 6. Tolbert on the final play of the half, just checks it down. There's 1 second left. Let's go to Miami. The Pirates are across the 50, and it's incomplete. Looking for Terrell Cooper deep. And again, tight coverage from the Desperados, not making anything easy. Oh my gosh! That pass was caught by Robert Martin Jones to end the half. I don't think we're going to get a replay of that, but that was a sensational catch. I got to see that on my other monitor here. I got to get another look at that just so I can describe to you what just happened. He was straight up in the air. His arm was straight up in the air, and he caught that ball. Too bad for Albuquerque. It did not result in any points as they have finally reached the third quarter. St. Louis leads 14-13 now as Mike Roberts fires to the far side. 177 yards for Roberts today. Third down and 4 for Chicago coming up. Abrayo Mebane, 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touchdown. Second and 2 for El Paso as their defense also got a stop here in the third quarter. Pope down the field, caught by Varley. Miami has had no answer for him. St. Louis has had no answer for Mebane. Varley and Mebane now up to 6 grabs. Both are unclaimed. Porsche's in the house. One Yugo so far. That was Koizumi's card. Chicago's Smith dancing for 3. First down and 10, Desperados. There goes P.J. Slaughter from 52 yards. Touchdown, Desperados.
Let's go, touchdown, baby. Let's go.
El Paso has broken the game open untouched. What is going on in Miami?
The kicker on for the extra point.
El Paso's season high in points is 31. They have 28 with 2:51 to go in the third quarter. It is all clicking right now for the Desperados, who in a division that does not have a clear front runner. Phoenix is 6-4. If El Paso were to hold on to win, they would be potentially just 2 games back, depending upon what happens with Phoenix later this week. First down, Chicago to the St. Louis 21. That's Lloyd with his second catch. as the Dragons continue to move the football. Edwards with his 6th tackle. But Roberts is finding the open man quite often today. 2nd down and 3 for Albuquerque, once again across Vegas territory. And Tolbert's pass is incomplete as Talkington Jr. is slammed down.
Ready? 60 outlaw.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Hey, let's get that ball, D. Let's get that ball.
Hand off for the Dragons. Got 1. So they are in the red zone. Buck Wild cannot come up with a contested catch. That's pretty unusual for him. El Paso working with all the momentum right now. 2:46 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is Roberts. Let's go to Chicago as the Dragons are in the red zone. With 3 minutes left, we had not had an opportunity tonight to talk about our primetime matchup coming up. The 6-4 Fresno Bobcats against the 4-6 Austin Lone Stars. It's Fresno's first game in primetime, and it's Austin's first home game in primetime. It all comes your way 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, right here on the Virtual Football Network, as Roberts' plant foot is affected by the quarterback pressure. 3rd down coming up for Chicago. You see Stearns, 16 completions, 3 of those for touchdowns. Rob Crone completes that one to Boletsky, his 6th grab of the day for 8 yards. Stearns going to let it rip for Vegas. There's 6 players down there, and Albuquerque really should have had the interception. Oh, nice open field tackle. Boletsky unable to get the 1st down. That was Brian Gates, the defensive end. Brilliant play for El Paso, and this is where Miami struggled last week. They got 2 3rd and shorts in the first half.
53, Mike 53.
Oh, handed a bullet on 3rd and short again here, and he does pick it up. 1st and goal, Mike Roberts down to the 1-yard line. Brick Novocaine continues his excellent performance for Albuquerque today, despite them trailing by 14. Chicago 1 yard out, 2nd and goal. Play fake. Roberts, back of the end zone, touchdown. Chicago retakes the lead. Buck Wild with a juke move has a 1st. Desmond Stewart makes the play for Chicago. Mike Roberts keeping that play alive and delivering a perfect pass. Vegas converts and will stay on the field. What a dart. To the sideline end of the 3rd quarter in Miami. The Pirates are in big trouble. Chicago is going for 2. Roberts will throw for it and get it. Marcus Lloyd, the tight end. Mike Roberts spreading the football around for Chicago today. And the Dragons take a 21-14 lead. Terrell Cooper with the catch for Miami, ushered out of bounds. The El Paso 27, Cooper's 6th catch. No huddle for Miami this entire 4th quarter. It is incomplete. Again, right at the goal line, Miami an opportunity to make a catch, albeit contested, and they cannot do it. Closest team to scoring position is Miami, down 28-10. Huge upset brewing in Florida. Rob Crone's pass caught in the red zone down to the 8-yard line. We have seen Miami come back before. Their last win, they beat New Orleans 21-18 in overtime. Crone inside the 10, down to the 7. That's Boletsky again, who has 7 of Crone's 21 completions. On 4th and inches, Vegas up 14, elects to punt and downs Albuquerque at the 5-yard line. 2nd and goal coming up for Miami. Crone, clean pocket, but it broke down. Winter comes in the fourth quarter. Koizumi, what a dart! Down to the Chicago 46-yard line. Bobby Green with the catch. 3rd and goal for Crone. Back in the end zone, what a play! Touchdown, Miami! That was probably Crone's best throw of the day. That one from 17 yards away, unfortunate for the Yugo players. But Cooper makes a monster touchdown in the end zone. St. Louis at the end of the 3rd quarter in Chicago's at the Dragon 31-yard line. Miami will take the extra point. With 10:36 to go, a 12-play, 74-yard drive. The Pirates not going to go away quietly, 28-17. Going to make the Desperados work for it. 3rd down and 2. Dennis Tolbert on a play fake. Can he keep Albuquerque on the field? 2 receivers in the same area. And the miscommunication will force Albuquerque to punt the football away. St. Louis at the 25-yard line, 2nd down and 4. Koizumi completes that one, got 3, 18 of 21 on the day. Riverman just outside the red zone, trailing 21-14. Chicago almost jumped offside. Braylon Battle, 5 catches, 103 yards and a touchdown. That one on 3rd down and 1 is caught. Homer J with the sure hands. I thought that was going to be another 3rd and 1 incompletion for St. Louis, but Jay's able to haul it in. Evan Wood asking, why did Miami go for 2 there? So by Miami kicking the extra point, they would only need 1 touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal. But if Miami would have missed that 2-point conversion, they would have needed 2 touchdowns. So Miami would have needed 2 touchdowns if they missed, or a touchdown and a field goal if they made it. But they still just need a touchdown and a field goal regardless by kicking that extra point. They just would have to go for 2. 2nd down and 2 at the 12. St. Louis is in the red zone. Junior McCray, 13 carries for 69 yards, 9:35 to go in the 4th. Vegas still up by 14. Remember, they were up 14-0 with 5 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and they're still protecting that 14-point advantage. Handoff, Junior McCray down to the 2-yard line. Elliott Pope Jr. with another completion, 15 of 16. That pass caught by tight end Eric Grammer, and it's another El Paso 1st down. Handoff, no, play action, great play action from Koizumi. That pass is incomplete, knocked around and almost intercepted by Jacob Vaughn, the defensive leader of the Chicago Dragons squad. Chicago made a lot of improvements to their defense coming into this game. In multiple facets did they improve, and on 3rd down and goal, that's an improvement right there. Clements got the touch, and Chicago drops St. Louis in the backfield at the 3-yard line, and it's decision time for the Rivermen. 4th down and 1. Vegas is going for it. Stearns crushed as he threw, and it's incomplete. So Vegas tried to shut the door on Albuquerque. It's not going to be that easy. Stearns took a wicked hit. St. Louis is going for it on 4th down and goal at the 3-yard line. Karen's going play action, going to take off and run, and Koizumi is stopped at the 2. Goal line stand for Chicago with 7:59 to play. Miami's Ron Haynes jarred that ball loose out of Jordan Herrera. And Jordan Herrera has been shut down by Ron Haynes today. Herrera had 3 touchdowns in El Paso's last win over Austin. Fake the end around, Jackson Hobbs for Albuquerque. Up to 22 yards on 8 carries, and El Paso's field goal is short. Very short. That one was from 50 yards out, and it didn't even have a chance. Miami gets the football back down 11. Chicago trying to get out of their own end zone. Dennis Tolbert with his 19th completion of the day. Robert Martin-Jones with the catch. 257 yards today for Albuquerque, a much better output, 111 of those from Martin-Jones. Rob Crone to the sideline. Bovine Jr. with the catch. On that 4th down run from Koizumi, it looked like she might have had a blocker or a block forming. But St. Louis, as Roberts on 3rd and inches, throws to the sideline and gets the first. What a perfect play call. Rob Crone's pass incomplete, so here we go again. Another 3rd and short for Miami. They are 3 for 3 on 3rd down and short since the adjustment this week. 7:05 to go in the 4th quarter. This time Miami's going gun. Tolbert's rolling out, checking it down for the Atomics, but a couple of jukes near a 1st down. And Crone's going for it all, and it's a penalty! El Paso grabbed Terrell Cooper. He's all fired up about it. It's a spot foul, and Miami's going to have 1st and goal. Katwan Dickerson with the PI. 1st and goal at the 6 for Miami. A huge turn of events as Boletsky gets 1. St. Louis in desperate need of a stop after the failed 4th down conversion inside the 5. Albuquerque still in business, plenty of time in Vegas. Crone hands it off to Boletsky, and again Boletsky can't get anywhere. El Paso's red zone defense has been pretty good today. Boletsky under 4 yards a carry on his 20th carry, and now it's back into the hands of Crone on 3rd and goal at the 6. Crone throws end zone, touchdown! And 6 hits, Drennan with the score. Don't look now, but the Pirates are down just 5. Tolbert into the red zone for Albuquerque down to the 9-yard line. And on 2nd down and 9, another 1st down for Chicago. 4:52 to go in the 4th quarter. Tolbert is slinging it, keeping him in the game. Pitch to Boletsky on the 2-point try, blown up in the backfield. B.J. McDonald takes it away, and that means that 23 is off the board, not 25. Meanwhile, it is Jackson Hobbs pushing his way into the end zone for his 1st touchdown of his career. Albuquerque back in it. St. Louis with a sack. Hopkins with the takedown. 3rd down and 9 coming up for Chicago. So the 2-point try fails for Miami. The extra point is good for Albuquerque. Miami has scored 13 straight. The touchdown pass was from 6 yards away.
Mike, number 53. And we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet.
The Denham run as Roberts is almost sacked on 3rd and 9. Hit as he threw, and the pass is incomplete. St. Louis gets a stop.
That's where you belong.
The run for Albuquerque was from 9 yards away. So every number, I think for the first time ever here on game night, every number in the single digits has hit. And our 24th called number of the evening now, Chicago is punting it away to St. Louis with 3:05 to go. Oh, Miami whiffed on a tackle. Herrera's in the open field out to the 49-yard line. Who was that? Ron Haynes on the outside? Ron Haynes went for the pick six to try to put El Paso or to try to give Miami the lead. You can't really blame him for that, but he totally misjudged the football. And Jordan Herrera finally gets loose today. End of the third quarter in Vegas. 5:24 to go in Miami. Elliott Pope Jr. going to take off and run. And up to the Miami 41-yard line, just short of the first down. There is Frank Stearns throwing a deep ball, knocked away. Excellent coverage by Albuquerque down the field. Was looking for his deep threat, Braylon Battle. 3rd down and 2 for Vegas. We have 3 one-score games right now. Pope Jr. on a design quarterback draw, first down to the 29-yard line. 51 yards rushing for Pope Jr. Koizumi avoids a safety. Now past the 10. First down to the 22-yard line. St. Louis keeps the drive alive with 2:23 to play. 4th down, Vegas. They are going to have to punt. Albuquerque is making a comeback. 4:14 to go. El Paso up 5. And Miami trying to punch the football out, but cannot wrestle it away. 4 minutes left there. 2-minute warning in Chicago. And Albuquerque's got nearly a full quarter to try and complete the comeback against the Devils. 2nd down and 4. Pope Jr. dangerous pass is caught. That was Grammer again with a ridiculous throw. Face mask on Chicago is going to tack on 15 for St. Louis. Dennis Tolbert looking for someone to get open and nearly threw an interception for Albuquerque. Pope Jr. sacked. 4th down and 11. That's going to be a field goal time for El Paso. But let's go to Chicago right now, to the game with the least amount of time remaining. St. Louis has the football, down 7, 1:43 to go in the 4th quarter. 2nd and 5 at the Chicago 42 as the Dragons try to hold on to the upset. That's a first down and more inside the 30. 47-yard field goal for El Paso. They missed from 50, but that kick is good. 31 and 47 hit, but it's still a one-score game. First down and 10 with 1:10 to go in Chicago. And now St. Louis is in the red zone at the Chicago 19-yard line. 2 touchdowns and a turnover on downs for St. Louis in the red zone today. 2nd and 3. Koizumi going to take off and run. 50 seconds. Slides past the first down to the 15-yard line. The clock will continue to run. Miami's got one last shot with 2:27 left. 37 seconds left for St. Louis. Riverman. Koizumi. Oh, she didn't see the pressure from behind. Timeout. St. Louis with 29 seconds left. A sack knocks the Rivermen out of the red zone. 3rd down and 1 for the Atomics. They're down 7. Tolbert's going to throw into double coverage, and that could stall the drive for the Atomics. That was a disappointing play there. 29 seconds left for St. Louis. Koizumi standing, clean pocket, fires down to the 3-yard line. Timeout, St. Louis. 20 seconds left. What a throw. Fourth and 1, Albuquerque went for it, and they did not get it. Hobbs took the toss for nothing. First and goal, St. Louis. Koizumi, Homer J, touchdown, Rivermen. They're an extra point away from tying the game. Rob Crone intercepted. Picked off by the Desperados. Back-to-back games, Crone has thrown 2 picks at home. Man, he was looking for Drennan deep, and Drennan was not even looking for the ball. I don't know if he ran the wrong route or McLeod just stepped in front of it. El Paso with a monster turnover. St. Louis with a monster touchdown. And Vegas with a monster stop on 4th and 1, and now Jack Nitro's got a first down.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now.
El Paso with 2:07 to play. Miami will start burning their timeouts. 2:03 left, trailing by 8. The Desperados have scored, have tied the most points they've scored this season. Frank Stearns for Vegas protecting a 7-point lead. Very precarious 7-point lead with 9 minutes to go. Down to 17 seconds in Chicago. St. Louis puts together a 2-minute drive to tie the game. PJ Slaughter has been slaughtering Miami in the second half. 2-minute warning timeout. And Flowers almost went up and got it, but it's 3rd down and 9.
And we got Mike, number 53. Mike, 53.
Quarterback, don't get nervous now. We ain't beginning.
First down, 2 timeouts
Don't get nervous.
for Miami. Roberts throws that one away. Slaughter is put down. And Ethan Flowers in the back of the end zone with the touchdown, Vegas. And can you believe it? The Devils are back up by 14 with an extra point pending. Look at Ethan Flowers go up for this grab. Oh, he just jumped higher. Just took it right away from him.
Keep it up, guys.
8 seconds left, another incompletion for Roberts. Dexter Murdoch tears down El Paso's run game. Miami is now out of timeouts. It would be a 42-yard field goal from here. That completion for Vegas goes down as a 21-yard catch. So that number already off the board. We have hit overtime in Chicago. McCreary on a 3rd down and 5, and he did not get it. 4th and inches for El Paso. What will they do? They missed from 50. Of course, you could have a blocked extra point. You're inches away from the first down, and El Paso will kick the field goal to go up by 2 scores. They don't want to risk anything. That is from 37 yards away, and that kick is good. 34 and 37 hit. We're 1 away from our record called Hugo numbers here tonight. There's still 8:27 left in the Vegas game, so Hugo's still alive and active. As we've gone to overtime in Chicago, St. Louis will get the football. Albuquerque again down 2 scores, and they are called for a false start. Just a refresher. Overtime rules: if the team scores a touchdown on their first possession, which I do not believe has happened in the UFL this season, then the game is over. Junior McCray will set up a 3rd down for St. Louis. You see Rob Crone's updated numbers, the 2 picks looming large in this football game.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. I'm here all day. I'm here all day. Joker,
If the team that first possesses the ball does not score a touchdown, then it is next score wins. Assuming that both teams don't get a field goal. 3rd down and 9. Koizumi is short of the sticks. 2nd down and 4 for Miami. They do not have a ton of time to dilly-daddle.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Ricky.
As that pass is incomplete from Crone. Koizumi has made history tonight. Takeda Yuki's card is the first card with 3 Yugos on it.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
Wow, that is a plus 15. And if St. Louis can win this game, that would be doubly huge. Rob Crone goes down for the sack. Now it's 4th and 12. And Miami not doing much of anything in this 2-minute offense. Chicago gets the stop to start overtime. They just need a field goal to win. Mike Roberts has been outstanding. And Miami turns the ball over, and that's a wrap. Holy smokes. The El Paso Desperados have won 4 of their last 6 games after starting 0-5. The Desperados are now 4-7, and they are not out of this thing in the Great West Conference. And they might jump Albuquerque, who is dangerously close to falling to 4-7, 6:55 to go in the 4th quarter. Hugo card number 26. Let's get to the overtime game in Chicago. That is Damon Simeon. You got it. That's a Hugo. So we've got 2 winners, but an unbelievable card from Koizumi tonight. 3 Hugo wins. For Miami, they lose back-to-back at home. And that is just crazy for Miami. Definitely unexpected. The Pirates will now go on the road 4 straight weeks in one of the toughest road swings in the UFL as Bo Braxton makes the catch for Albuquerque. At Charlotte, at Florida, at Cleveland, at Dakota. Now, fortunately for Miami, none of those teams are lighting things up at the moment. Charlotte's been up and down. Florida starting to get things together. Cleveland struggling. Dakota was hot early, but they are struggling with a couple of losses in a row. Vasquez talking about the losses, making the Eastern Conference playoffs just a little bit more interesting. St. Louis has the football back in overtime. 1st and 10, 9:22 to go. Albuquerque running the no huddle. You look at the East, Dallas 8-2, and then you've got St. Louis and Rochester at 7-3. St. Louis trying to get to 8-3. But Miami falls to 7-4, so they fall to the number 3 seed. Cincinnati would be your 4 seed at 6-4 right now, is the Great Lakes Division winner. Tolbert's pass nearly intercepted, and now it's 4th down and 18 for Albuquerque. Down 14, 5:16 to go. The Atomics have played Vegas even. And on 3rd down and 4, St. Louis has a first down to the Chicago 47-yard line. 4th catch for Junior McCray today. St. Louis is that close. And on 4th down and 18, Robert Martin-Jones keeps the drive alive for Albuquerque. And with that catch, Hugo closes for the night as we're under 5 minutes to go in Vegas. We end up 1 number shy of tying our game night record. Deep shot, Tolbert. It is incomplete. There's a flag down. St. Louis was in field goal range, but an illegal touching is called. Jay went out of bounds, so it'll be incomplete. 2nd down and 10 for St. Louis. The next score wins in Chicago.
On the set.
Tolbert, there's a flag potentially on Albuquerque here. Ineligible downfield. 2nd and 10. Oh, dangerous ball, knocked up in the air off a foot and incomplete. 3rd down for St. Louis.
Come on, set. 15.
You can see that field goal target line at the 42. That'd be a 59-yarder. That would be a UFL record. Tolbert's pass is caught. Albuquerque keeps the drive alive. Karen Koizumi takes off and runs, is past the target line, but did not get the first down. Decision time for St. Louis, because if they miss from 58, that would give Chicago excellent field position. Right now, St. Louis winning the field position battle in overtime. St. Louis elects to punt instead, play the field position game, and pin the Chicago Dragons down to the 5-yard line. Excellent punt. 4.5 to go in Vegas. The Devils went up 14-0 and have since been played even by Albuquerque, but still has the 14-point advantage. In the Great West Conference, Vegas is trying to get to 9-2, winners of 7 in a row, with their only loss coming to the top seed in the West. That is 9-1 Salt Lake. Tolbert on a 1st down and 10 fires into the back of the end zone. That is incomplete. But Salt Lake, Dakota, San Diego, and Phoenix are your division leaders right now. And then San Diego is your first wild card. Chicago's got a 1st down. San Diego's your first wild card, or check that, Vegas is your number 5 seed right now at 8-2. And then San Diego's your 2nd wild card at 7-3. And then it is Houston and Portland. Check that. Fresno is your 3rd wild card at 6-4, and then Portland and Houston are tied for the 8th spot at 5-5. Albuquerque just a game behind them, and now it's 4th down and 8 for Albuquerque. Mike Roberts is sacked by Edwards, a loss of 6. St. Louis brought the heat. They brought 2 guys. The running back picked up one of them, and there was nobody there to block Edwards. Another 4th down for Albuquerque. The Atomics need this. 5:05 to go in overtime in Chicago. We'll go to a 2nd if we have to. Had to do that once this season. Roberts, deep shot, 2nd and 18, incomplete. Now Tolbert, back of the end zone, knocked away from Bo Braxton. Turnover on downs.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
Unfortunate there for the Atomics. That would have made it a 1-score game with 3:25 left. Now things get significantly tougher, and St. Louis plays the field position game expertly. 3 and out for Chicago. Roberts takes a sack, 2 incompletions, and the Rivermen will get the football back. Look at Ethan Flowers' day. 7 grabs for 93 yards and 3 touchdowns. The 3 touchdowns ties a UFL record.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
And off to Nitro. Albuquerque will start burning timeouts soon. Coming up, it is Colin Northrup and Tyler Falk on the call of 6-4 Fresno versus 4-6 Austin, a critical game in the Great West playoff race as you look at Karen's excellent numbers today in Chicago. Nitro is stopped. It's 3rd down for Vegas. Comes your way at 9 p.m. Eastern or in about 18 minutes right here on the Virtual Football Network, assuming that St. Louis and Chicago want to wrap this thing up. Who is going to make the play? As Jack Vaughn brings down Jacob Vaughn, excuse me. Shout out to all the defenders playing today. Maple Mack, Dynamite McCray, Tyrone Johnson, Chris Phillips, Brick Novocaine. Deep shot, incomplete on 3rd and 12. Albuquerque gets a quick stop. Allen Wood on El Paso, Ron Haynes, Grant Hardaway, Robert Crone, Dexter Murdoch, Rip QB. So Albuquerque will get it back. 3rd down and 5 for St. Louis. Here we go again. Near the target line. 3rd down. Koizumi, that is close. 30th completion ruled short. Centro House with the catch, but it's 4th and inches for St. Louis. What do you do? What do you do? Dennis Tolbert, 33 completions, and St. Louis, for the 2nd time in overtime, is going to punt on 4th and 1 or less, playing the field position game, but this is not as good of a punt. They don't want to give Chicago excellent field position, but now 2:58 to go in the first overtime, and the Dragons have it back. St. Louis trusting in their defense right now. Roberts hands it off to Smith. Jackson Hobbs has a 1st down for Albuquerque, 1:50 to go. Albuquerque still not out of it yet. They did not spend any of their timeouts on that last defensive possession. So if they could score before maybe a minute to go, they could still have a shot here. Dennis Tolbert taking a lot of time looking for someone to get open and does find an open receiver. That was Trey McDowell, but it took a lot of time off the clock. 1:20 to go there now. 1:55 to go in the first overtime. Chicago and St. Louis are all knotted up at 21. And Mike Roberts over the middle has a 1st down to the 37-yard line. Tolbert, what a catch at the 14-yard line. Albuquerque in the red zone. Bo Braxton with the catch. The 55th throw of the day for Dennis Tolbert. That is 4 off of a UFL record for attempts. Now 3 off, 2nd down and 5, but Albuquerque down to 41 seconds to go. 1st down, Chicago at the 41-yard line. Tolbert on a check down. Albuquerque's just taking too long. Down to 25 seconds to go. 38 of 57 for the Atomics. Hand off to Corey Preston. Now it's 3rd down and 2 for the Dragons. Oh, Tolbert with the touchdown pass in the back of the end zone. Tapping the toes, Shark Tarkington Jr. gets the score. But it looks like too little too late for the Atomics. 8 seconds remain. Chicago did not get the 1st down. So now they have a 4th down and 1 decision to make. St. Louis on 4th and 1 or less, they have punted twice. Chicago is also going to punt on 4th down and 1. Neither team wanting to give anything easy as that drops almost at the 1, but into the end zone at the 20-yard line for the Rivermen. Still tied. Karen Koizumi, 30 of 37, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. 8 seconds left in Vegas. Albuquerque will have to onside kick. They do still have all 3 timeouts. And Koizumi's got a catch to the 48-yard line. Timeout St. Louis as they try to end this in the first overtime. 4th quarter timeout logic applies, you could say, as Vegas will recover the onside kick. But because Albuquerque has 7 seconds left, the game is not necessarily over. I'm sorry, 3 timeouts. The game is not necessarily over. But now it's 1st down and 10. Stearns, dangerous throw to the sideline. That's caught. That's a 1st down. Now it's definitely over. Karen Koizumi over the middle. That pass is caught. St. Louis down to the 35-yard line. And that might be enough. Junior McCray, as St. Louis calls a timeout. They could end it right here. This would be from 52 yards away. Remember, St. Louis had a game-winning field goal last week against Portland. Vegas has held on to beat the Atomics 31-24, and they will kick it in the final play of overtime. This is a 52-yard field goal for the W. St. Louis has done it again. Back-to-back weeks with game-winning field goals. And the Rivermen improve their record to 8-3. Now just a half game behind Dallas and a half game behind first place in the East. Stats for Albuquerque and Vegas, St. Louis and Chicago can be viewed on their individual live stream in the videos section of VFN, or later this week on our website at UFL.football. Cue the outro. Unbelievable. St. Louis wins another 1-possession game. Chicago loses another 1-possession game, and the East just got turned on its head. Final scores: Vegas now just a half game back of Salt Lake for the division lead in the top spot of the West. They hold on to beat Albuquerque 31-24. St. Louis wins another game on a game-winning field goal. They beat Chicago 24-21 in overtime. And El Paso pulled the monster upset on the Miami Pirates, which feels like ages ago. They get the victory and improve to 4-7 on the season. Miami drops their 2nd consecutive home game and falls to 7-4. Fresno and Austin coming up next with Colin Northrup and Tyler Falk. For all of us here at the UFL, I am UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine. We appreciate you being here for another presentation of the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. For CJ, I'm Cam. Good night, and we'll see you back for prime time at the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere.